The unnamed protagonist in the Hotline Miami series is idolized by many both in-game and in real life. His mask is incredibly iconic, but it's really not unique to him, nor is it the only one he chooses to wear. His attire, however, remains constant in the first game, and to many uniquely identifies this character, to the point that his choice of outerwear becomes his codename. Jacket. It's just perfect, and even the developers agreed, choosing to make that his official nickname in the level editor. If only being official also meant being straightforward. Because even if we know that the official color for Jacket's jacket is yellow in-game, Jacket's jacket is officially shown to us in a beige variant in real life. We see it on cover art, official figures, official skateboards, Fall Guys, and official shirts, hats. But where we don't see it is in the game. Why is Jacket only shown in his most iconic outfit outside of his game? Is there a reason for this? Was the yellow color a mistake? Well, the answer to that is no. In the Notebook by Dennis Sweden, we see in Corey's section that Jacket was going to have her outfit, but Jonathan fought for a yellow appearance. Jacket's yellow jacket was definitely an intentional choice. So, problem solved, right? No. We're still left wondering why Jacket's jacket is beige in his other appearances, and why his design follows him across universes. Oh, what a dickhead. Cut to the next part. This is a question I believe has an answer, one that will take us to the depths of Jacket's mind. We will be using both games to help us find out which jacket is Jacket's jacket. The internal voices are a well-known enigma. Richard in particular has been a mystery for a long time. The person wearing the Rasmus mask appears to be just as mysterious as Richard, though many assume that his aggressive behavior is justified since he's clearly Russian. The person wearing the Don Juan mask is actually supposed to be wearing the pig mask. Decoding the mystery behind these characters has proven so difficult that many believe that there's no real explanation for these guys, and that they're just up to our interpretation. But I believe we're just approaching this problem wrong, especially when it comes to Richard. Everyone wants to know what he specifically is supposed to represent, but what if it's impossible to find meaning in each entity individually? That is to say, what if the question we're supposed to answer is who all these people represent as a collective? If that's the case, I believe I may have an answer. In Jacket's third visit with the Eternal Voices, the girl wearing the horse mask makes the assertion that Jacket looks ill, and that he should rest, and that no matter who he is, bearing too much weight will lead to the collapse of everything. Thinking about this line will leave you puzzled, as his participation in these missions are mandatory, right? Do them or you die. Sure, bearing this weight might lead to the collapse of everything, but so does dying. Jacket had no choice but to bear this burden. Unless he did. The girl says bearing too much weight will lead to the collapse of everything. Going back to the Don Juan theory, if that theory is correct, Jacket was actually doing more than his own missions, bearing more than his own weight. He was doing girlfriend's missions as well. This is possibly the weight that the girl was referring to. With that said, it's possible that while girlfriend was alive, she saw how exhausted Jacket was and offered to do some of her own missions, to lower Jacket's burden. But because Jacket was worried about her safety, refused her offer, therefore bearing too much weight. In this sequence, Jacket may be remembering how selfless girlfriend was being back then. But that got me thinking. Girlfriend is not in Jacket's apartment for two of the later chapters in the first Hotline Miami. Those being Crackdown, as well as Hot and Heavy. Not initially concerning, even though she said she had nowhere to go, she could have been running an errand, or going shopping, or something like that. But consider this real quick. Jacket is shot, taken to the hospital, and presumably the clothes he was wearing were taken as evidence after he was put in hospital gown. But after Jacket escapes the hospital, he finds his outfit in his hamper. Now, It's not impossible for Jacket to have a spare jacket. In fact, I'm basically counting on that. However, this will ultimately be the first time we see Jacket with his jacket on after his coma. The first time we see it in reality. And it would be the one that's displayed in first trial. But is this really Jacket's first trial? Think about it. There's plenty of evidence that Jacket is left behind of his crimes. Yet, all we see here is one thing. A trophy used against Bodyguard. But something you'll notice is that the cop waiting for Jacket to wake up in trauma says that there's a huge case that Jacket is tied to. This is before he attacked Grandfather's mansion. The trial that the cop is talking about is supposed to be the first case. Due to this, I think that first trial is not showing us the first trial of the Miami Maniac murders. I think it was the first trial for the murders that occurred in Grandfather's mansion. The trial described in Pardo's newspaper, the one that apparently had a similar turnout to the one in first trial, that was one of the hearings for the first major case concerning the Miami Maniac murders. The one mentioned by the cop waiting for Jacket to wake up, before he had killed the Russian patriarchs. Therefore, it is possible that the jacket that Jacket wore prior to entering his coma, the jacket he was wearing while he was shot by Richter, the jacket taken from him by police, the thing that was taken from him was the beige one shown in cover art and official merch. And it would have been the jacket displayed in the other trials concerning the Miami Maniac murders of 1989. It was his primary jacket before he was shot. We'll talk more about the trials later. Trust me, there's a lot of weird stuff happening here. But after all of the things I have just mentioned here, you're probably wondering what this had to do with Girlfriend not being present in the apartment. Girlfriend is not in Jacket's apartment for 2 of the later chapters in the first Hotline Miami. You know, where I left off on. I mean, I've basically provided a substantial theory for the existence of the beige jacket. What's left to explore? If Jacket was wearing the beige jacket before he entered his coma, why does he remember wearing the yellow jacket? You could probably just chalk this up to his coma being unreliable at recalling certain events accurately, and that would be partially right. But I don't think this is it alone. You see, I believe that in an effort to reduce Jacket's burden, Girlfriend behind Jacket's back would grab a spare jacket out of Jacket's hamper and use his mask to do missions on his behalf, returning the favor he did for her. When Jacket remembers his girlfriend is dead, he's in shock. He never got to fully know who she truly was. After he remembered everything prior to his coma, he dwells on this, believing he will never know the full picture concerning the nature of his relationship with this person. Was she an operative? Was she a Russian? Or was she the girl he's come to cherish? Or was she all of these things?
You're not a nice person, are you?
How are you feeling?
Why did you come back here? You make me sick!
You look ill. Maybe you should see a doctor.
What is your problem? You know I can do this myself. Why are you always putting yourself in danger?
Do you like hurting other people?
Is it really possible for Girlfriend to be all of these things at once? Jacket just can't think of a world where that's possible. He really hopes that she's the girl he's come to love. And he really, really hopes he's not wrong. When Jacket escapes and goes home, he resolves to get revenge for his girlfriend and chooses to wear the jacket she wore in her honor, giving her the benefit of the doubt, hoping she was the loving girl that he knew. This all comes to a head when he faces the father, however. As he makes his way through his defenses, Jacket faces father's bodyguard, and something very unusual happens when he knocks her down. She pushes Jacket away. It is important to point out that this has never happened before. Jacket has never been pushed away during an execution. Keep in mind, multiple men have tried. First, William Fisker tries to get Jacket off him as he gets his eyes gouged. Of course, he was shot 2 to 3 times with a shotgun at this point, so let's consider the second example. As Richter faces Jacket's anger, he too attempts to get him to stop. Richter is a deadly 50 Blessings operative and a US veteran just like Jacket. If anyone had a chance of pushing Jacket away, it was most certainly this guy. Sure, he took a blow to the face, but so did Bodyguard. Bodyguard should not have been able to push Jacket away. Something happened here, and I think I know what that is. As Jacket performs his standard execution, Bodyguard flails, struggles, and possibly yells until Jacket lets go. This is the closest that Jacket gets to this character's face, and perhaps hearing her voice and seeing some parallels to someone he used to know shocks him into holding back. He sees red, a possible confirmation of something terrible, and makes sure she's facing away from him when he performs his execution a second time. But we don't care about all that. We found out which jacket belonged to Jacket. It's both. The beige jacket is worn prior to his coma. The other one was worn by Girlfriend to help Jacket out, and is worn by Jacket after his coma. We did it, right? Well, believe it or not, there's actually a third jacket. Take a look at our star player. Jacket is not wearing his typical clothes. He's wearing a different jacket and different jeans. An interesting thing to note is that the jacket we see in the level editor is not the jacket we see in 1989. He's wearing the same outfit as he wears in the table sequence. This is already a long video, so we'll cover what this jacket means very soon. But I'll leave you with this hint. If you know anyone who'd love to know which jacket belonged to Jacket, send them to youtube.com/@-yaster.